let me ask you something. What comes in your mind when I tell you the word freedom?
It could be literally anything. For some of you, it could be having no limits. But for some of you, it could be having no work to do. However, freedom I want to talk about today is freedom from your own mold. Mold is what I would like to refer to as an attitude or behavior that is insisted on a particular style. It can also simply be said as a prejudice we have. Now, I want you to think about your own molds. There could be anything, there could be many. And I want you to choose one of those that are limiting your development. And then finally, break them. That is the idea I want to share with you today. Now let me tell you about my middle school story. I studied based on what the teacher wrote on the board. I wrote down those writings on my textbook, and I underlined those that the teacher has emphasized. I didn't ask twice about what I didn't know, because I didn't need it to. Because all I did for the test was memorize the writings and the underlined sentences that were inside of my textbook. I did this for 3 consecutive years while being able to maintain a high rank in my school. However, everything changed as I came to this school. I had to completely throw away how I studied in my school. Many presentation projects, research projects, essay writing, debate classes, and creative camps were pouring in like crazy, and I failed to do well on every single one of them. For example, in the first debate class, the class that all of you may have gone through, we were given articles about a topic. For preparing the debate, I wrote down the arguments and the evidence according to the article. As you may guess, I lost. I lost to an opponent who has researched very deeply about the same topic. I was attacked with new evidences that I didn't hear about and strong evidences. I couldn't even do the refutation. However, at that moment, I realized that my studying shouldn't end at a stage where I only know perfectly about the given information, but to go more, search for 2 or 3 more related ideas about that one topic. From then, I started to search for more and more related data about what I had to research on. For example, I had to write an English essay about happiness. In the passage given, there were 3 factors of happiness. Happiness regarding money, health, and family relationship. I, however, didn't want it to be limited to those 3 arguments. So I went on, searched on the internet, and found out that even with these 3 factors, there are more such as age, marriage status, and self-realization. Those also had a big impact on happiness, and I concluded that those examples on the passage were only a tip of an iceberg. With these experiences, I found about the satisfaction and the proudness I could get and broadened my knowledge, acquiring wider views. Like this, knowing to break the limit and going in further is important. And guess what I have accomplished from this? By getting rid of how I studied before in middle school, I was able to get more awards, many awards in different subjects, along with broadening my knowledge. By experiencing such benefits of stepping outside the door of how I studied before, the 2 words that came out of my mouth was, hell yeah. It has been nearly 2 years studying in this school, and for most of those times, I've spent my time accumulating profound experience of diplomacy and world trade. Thanks to my past myself for breaking the mold of how I studied before, I was able to, I can say that I was freed from the barriers of limited learning and started to look around 360 degrees, learn new things that I couldn't have seen before. Now I brought 2 quotes that I want to share with you today. These two quotes contain what I wanted to tell you. Once we rid ourselves of traditional thinking, we can get on with creating the future. Freedom means the opportunity to be what we never thought we would be. Like these quotes, by getting rid of our traditional thinking, we will be able to open our eyes for broader views, and we can get on with creating our own future. Also, by being able to be free from your old mold, you will be able to experience what you couldn't have experienced before, a whole new world for you guys. Freeing oneself from one specific point of view allows one to see what one couldn't have seen before. Just like stepping outside the door, being free from your old mold will allow you to enter a whole new world full of happenings to learn from. So I dare tell you to don't be afraid to lose what you have accumulated until now with the old mold. Step outside and learn new things that are useful for you. And finally, ruthlessly abandon those that are holding you down. Thank you.